Hello and welcome to Chart of the Day Cafe for Tuesday, July 10th, 2018. Disclaimer quickly. Trading stocks is a high level of risk and viewers should complete their own due diligence on any stock or underlying that they intend to own. 100% of the content of this video and communique is intended for journalistic and educational purposes only. This video and all indicators, strategies, and articles herein should not be construed as investment advice. Not making any recommendations, always for your further homework. Good morning, Sue here. Hope you had a great weekend. We're into another interesting week in the markets with earnings coming up, most particularly from the banks later this week. So with that, let's get into today's video. If you know me, you know I always start these videos off with a look at the Russell Index. Why? Because I always want to make sure that before I add a new name to my watch list, I'm adding it in a rising market environment. And for that, I refer to the IWM, which is the ETF that represents the Russell 2000. And I like to step back and take a look at it on a 5-year monthly time frame. So bear chart, the only indicator I have on here is the blue line, which is the 8-day EMA. Here are the monthly candles so far. This is July, this is June. Worth noting, we are starting to get into the area of the candle for the month of June where price was rejected, so we want to be extra careful in this area. But for the most part, we had some base building here on the monthly chart, a strong May, June a little wonky, and July we will see. So like to get that broader perspective. I'm going to put my drawings back on, and I always talk about this black line being the most important line on my chart. I always want to make sure that the monthly candles are up and over this black diagonal line. I'm going to move this pretty soon. If we get a bullish month of July, then I will move this line up to this area. But for now, this black line remains in play. The pink is more short-term support resistance. The orange and the blue we're ignoring for now, medium and long term. We're really kind of focusing in on this area, but as we note, price is still in an uptrend on the monthly. Now let's take a look at the weekly, 1-year weekly. Same black diagonal line. You can see that we had a bullish week last week, and so far we are starting the week off strong. Futures look to be a little bit green this morning. So with price up and over the 8-day EMA on both the weekly and daily charts on the IWM, I will be adding a new name to my watch list this morning. And the chart that I wanted to feature for you this morning and add to our watch list is Phillips 66, ticker symbol PSX, trades on the New York Stock Exchange. Before I get into the chart, let me tell you a little bit more about the company. Phillips 66 is a large marketing and refining company based out of the US. If you know me at Chart of the Day Cafe, I am all about the fundamental scores underneath my chart. So we're not just looking at things technically, we're also blending in the fundamentals. And Phillips 66 has a really nice high value score, a current forecasted earnings growth rate of 20%, a current PE of 15.47, and a current dividend yield of 2.84%. All of the things that I love and look for. So with that, let's get back to the chart. We're looking at the 5-year monthly chart. You can see on the 5-year monthly that Phillips 66 really based for a long time through 14, 2015, 16, 17, and then had this lift off and out of this base, and is now trading in an area where I think it might be pretty interesting should we have a continued rising market. So this is the 5-year chart. Now I'm going to get into this area here. So I'm going to move it away from the 5-year, and I'm going to go to the 1-year weekly. And as you can see, it's in a nice uptrend on the 1-year chart. It's settled into this area where I'm going to draw a line of support, and it is starting to show a little bit of lift here. So again, we're looking at the weekly chart, but I like to see this doji and then another doji followed by what might be shaping up this week to be a little bit of a bullish candle, which may engulf our 8-day EMA. We will see. The week is still early, but I love the look of this chart. So let's move it away from the 1-year weekly to the 3-month daily. And as you can see, price has consolidated for a number of days and is now starting to lift up and over the 8-day EMA that I use as my guide. I know everyone has their own way of doing things. My particular way is 3 and 8. I like to see the 3 EMA cross over the 8 and give me this beautiful lift. It's an easy way for me to track and determine when I need to leave the trade. So I love that 3 and 8. As you can see, we just have a fresh cross on the 3 and 8. So with positive momentum in PSX today, I will be keeping a sharp eye. So little green circle, I want to see PSX move into my green circle area. I'm going to move it back to my plain chart. Again, consolidating, starting to see some lift. We'll see what happens today. Along with my new watch list pick, I also like to take a look at the sector that it's in, and for that we're looking at XLE, which is the ETF for the energy sector. 5-year monthly chart, you can see like PSX, it came in and bottomed in 2016, the early part of 2016, traded sideways for a number of years. But look where it is right here, right now. Again, this is the monthly chart, but it's coming up to this area of prior resistance where it was rejected here, here, and is now looking pretty perky in this area to me. So will it break out? We will see. I'll be keeping a close eye. Going to move it away from the 5-year monthly to the 1-year weekly. And these are the weekly candles. As you can see, like PSX, it had a doji last week and is showing strength this week. So nice bullish candle this week. So we're going to be monitoring this area, but should the market continue higher, PSX has brilliant scores in this space. I'll be keeping a close eye. I also like to take a look at seasonality, and for that I go over to equityclock.com. Really amazing site, can't recommend it enough. I want to see if my new watch list pick has seasonal favor, and as you can see, Phillips 66 comes into seasonal favor right about this time of year and has a strong back half of the year. No guarantee that happens again this year, but always a good data point to know. I also like to spin over to finviz.com to see if I've got analyst support for my new watch list pick. It's a little muted. I usually like to see upgrades, so I note that for the most part it's positive lately, but not upgrades, it's just resumption or reiteration, so like to be aware of that. I also like to do a little bit of reading about my new watch list pick, so I'm going to include a handful of articles with today's video. If you go down to the show notes, I'll put in a handful of articles that I think are worth reading about our new pick for today. And so to quickly recap, let's go back and check the boxes. I started today's video with a look at the Russell Index, and we note that overall the Russell is in an uptrend with price currently up and over the 8-day EMA on both the daily and weekly charts. We looked at the 5-year chart for PSX and note that it had a number of years of price consolidation, but in the last year it has shown price strength and is currently sitting at an area of possible price strength continuation. It's all about what the markets want to do overall, but I like the look of the chart. We also looked at the sector that it's in, the ETF XLE, and like PSX, it consolidated for a while. It's currently sitting in an area of it's right against resistance, but it may break out in this area. We will see. PSX has a great value score and a great growth score with a forecasted earnings growth rate going forward of 20%, a current dividend yield of 2.84%. It does have the 3 and 8 EMA cross, just that I look for, so that box is checked. We looked at seasonality. PSX comes into seasonal favor right about now, so that box is checked. Analyst support, we went to FinViz. It was a little muted, so I will let you decide whether you want to check that box. It's fine for me. And also, PSX announced a stock buyback program in October of 2017. I will include a link to that, more information about that. It was $3 billion worth, so that's always good to know. It's got a current PE of 15.47, and it looks as though earnings are on July 27th. As a reminder, these videos go out every Tuesday and Thursday morning. Thanks so much for watching, and if you liked today's video, please give it a like on YouTube. See you Thursday.